I've been on self-improvement for around 2 years now, and I've seen many people on self-improvement as well. I've talked to them. They've recommended books to me. I've watched videos of people recommending books, of people talking about how to be more attractive, how to make more money, how to make your health better, how to make your sleep better, how to clean your diet, all this shit, right? I've watched a lot of it. I've seen a lot of it. However, what I find is that many times the advice that is given aligns with the principles of stoicism. All of them, like 99% of the time, the ideals of these self-improvement people in one way or another align with stoicism. However, if you look in these communities of self-improvement, there's not that much talk about it. People kind of boil stoicism down to simply abstaining from instant gratification and controlling your emotions. That's it. And although these are certainly components of stoicism, they're not stoicism. They're not the philosophy itself, right? And so in this video, I want to talk about stoicism. I want to talk about why this philosophy should be the foundation of your life. Why this philosophy is basically all you need to make your life better, to make your life fulfilling, to find good health. The principles are all in stoicism. Now, I want to spend some time defining stoicism. Although it is about controlling, part of it is about controlling your emotions and controlling your desires, stoicism is a philosophy about love for the universe, for nature, for everything around you. The main idea behind stoicism is that nothing in the universe is separable. You cannot separate yourself from me. I cannot separate myself from you. The dirt, the trees, rock, mammals, all of them are one. There is no such thing as like one human that's different from another human. Although we may have like superficial differences, like I may like this type of book, you may like that type of book. I may like music, you may not like music, whatever. The point is that at our essence, as existing beings, we are no different because we come from the same universe. The universe, whether you believe it was God, whether you believe nature created itself, it had one origin point. And from that one origin point, everything extends. Everything comes from that one origin point. From that point on, everything is just recycled. Everything, one thing becomes the next, it dies, and then it becomes another thing. And that's how it's been for billions and billions of years until it gets to you. And now you're living your life. And so when you judge people, when you hate people, when you don't take the time to see them as part of you, when you don't take the time to understand them and be kind to them and show respect, then what you're doing is you're rejecting them. You're separating yourself from nature. And when you have that kind of brain that is emotional, that kind of brain that is hedonistic, that seeks to fulfill all your sensual pleasures, when you allow your ego to take over, you don't live a fulfilling life. You live a life with unnecessary stress, a life with no true direction, with no foundation, no stability. Things happen to you. You have no, in both cases, right? Let's say you have a stoic person and a person who is not stoic. Both of them experience events in life, but the stoic man experiences a lot less stress because he's not trying to control the universe around him. He's accepted that, nature is nature. There are things out of my control. I'm just a human. I'm not here to control the world and be on top of everything. I'm here to align myself with nature, to be a part of this cycle, to contribute what I can, and then leave when my time comes. The average person who is led by their ego and their emotions, when bad things happen to them, they get stressed. They want to control it. They don't want it to happen to them. They don't want discomfort or suffering. When people say something that's maybe a little bit mean to them, instead of taking the time to understand that, to understand why they said that, they instantly react with anger, instantly become combative and aggressive. That is not the solution. That is not the way we should be. People talk about like how the world is so fucked, how we have all these environmental crises happening, how we have all these like wars going on, how our politics isn't even like a true democracy. We have this ruling class that is destroying the health and lives of the working class. A big part of why that happens is because we are led by our ego. We're led by our emotions and desires. That's why a part of stoicism is literally just talking about you controlling your desires, you controlling your emotions. Because when you don't control those things, not only do you hurt yourself, but you hurt other people. You make the lives of others worse. And so I think that we should really look to implement this philosophy into our lives, not just like partially, but fully. Because I see the same trend a lot in these like self-improvement groups. Sometimes I go into these, like for example, Adonis Gang. That's Hamza Ahmed's self-improvement school community. And it's for free. You can join it if you want. And sometimes I go in there and I see the same thing. Like, these guys they kind of have a negative opinion of other people. They look down upon others. They see guys who are not on self-improvement as less. They see them as these like disgusting goblins who aren't worthy of respect, who aren't worthy of anything. They don't see them as humans. They don't see them as part of them, Because we have to remember, those people that we disrespect, that we think are less than us, we were probably them at one point, even if you don't see it, right? It's very easy to say, oh no, I'm not like so-and-so. But I promise you, if you take the time to really look, you will find that you have done the things that they've done, or something similar to that. You've reacted the way they reacted in a different situation, And even if it's the case, even if there's a case where you guys are different, where you haven't done what they've done, it's still possible to become them. You don't know. Maybe in the future, in like 20 years, you end up in their same position because you neglected to admit that could also be you. Your ego is too big to admit that you are like them. Instead, you convince yourself that no, I'm different. I'm the one. I'm special. But you're not. And I'm not saying this to be like demeaning, because I know it can sound pretty negative when I say, oh, you're not special. You're not this. You're not that. But I want you to understand that if you live a life that is not stoic, if you live a life where you act like you're special and you're on top, and you allow your ego to convince yourself of these false narratives, you will end up hurting yourself and hurting other people. Because that's basic, like I said earlier, that's how we got to this point, right? People live their lives thinking that they're on top, thinking from the perspective of me, without considering that other people exist as well. And so those who keep that mindset, when they get the wealth and the power, they end up fucking over other people. And they can't even sustain their power because they're not worthy for that position. They haven't controlled themselves. Marcus Aurelius was able to maintain his power and create prosperity in Rome because he was a Stoic. Because he wasn't obsessed with power. He wasn't obsessed, like he had it. Yeah, he had wealth. He had power. But he did not indulge in these things. He focused on creating a good nation. Fulfillment does not come from desires. It doesn't come from producing a thing or like making something or getting something. That's the mistake many people in self-improvement make. They say, oh yeah, I want to get rich, I want to get women, I want to have success and status, whatever. But these are all superficial things. They're external. You have no control over them. No true control over them. You can work to them. You can do things to help you make progress in them. But how much money you make is not really up to you. How many women you get is not really up to you. Your status and reputation are not up to you, right? And even if you get all of these things, it's only a very temporary satisfaction. Like that, it doesn't last a lifetime. Eventually the novelty wears off and you're no longer satisfied with that. You're no longer happy with what you have. You want more and more and more. So in the end, all you've done is moved from a low-level desire, which is like video games and porn and junk food, to a higher level desire, which is more socially acceptable. In the end, that's all you've done. And you might have an aesthetic body, you might have a stronger body, you may look better, you may have a lower body fat, you may actually be like more productive in your day and whatnot. But if you're pursuing the high-level desire, you're still pursuing a desire. You're still indulging in a way. It's just a little bit more difficult to sustain this. There's a bit more health required, a little bit more intention required to achieve these. But in the end, the point is that we should not focus on achieving superficial things. We should not place our happiness on them. In order to live a life that feels purposeful, we need to pursue an objective that is going to contribute to humanity, something bigger than ourselves, right? Why do you think religion exists? Religion was a way, and still is a way for many people, to give themselves a higher purpose in life, a higher goal, because they don't know how to find that themselves in this world. The point is that if you want to live a fulfilling life, you must have an objective, a purpose so great that you either become great in achieving it, that you become fulfilled and you see amazing results from it, that you help humanity by achieving this goal, or where you are destroyed in the process. That is how high you should be aiming, not just for wealth, not just for status. Today, you're whatever age you are. Let's say you're 15. Today you're 15. Tomorrow you're 30, and the day after you're dead. You're gone, and nobody remembers you. So let's not focus on these things that only last a few seconds when in the grand scheme of things. Let's stop focusing on achieving these things that aren't really going to bring us fulfillment. Let's focus on achieving these big goals that are going to help humanity, that are going to help push us to the next stage of evolution. So how do we apply Stoicism? Well, Stoicism has been praised because it's super easy and straightforward to apply in your own life, right? So I'll give you like a few bullet points that you can write down and just keep in mind for future reference. 1, control your actions and be intentional. So don't just react to life. When things happen to you, it's very easy to say, oh yeah, this person said this to me, this person pushed me, this person or this thing just happened to me, the weather just changed all of a sudden, somebody's yelling at me, whatever. It's very easy to experience those things and then instantly jump out and kind of react with your emotion. Get that under control. Control your emotions. Direct them intentionally. When somebody comes to you and they're angry at you for whatever reason, instead of just getting mad, having negative thoughts, think to yourself, okay, or not even think to yourself, just ask them, okay, I'm sorry. Why are you mad? What's going on? Right? Let them explain themselves to you. Give them a chance to tell you what's going on. Because maybe it's something that you actually did wrong without even realizing it. Maybe it's something that they thought you were doing. And you can't blame them for that. They thought you did something bad, so they stood up to you. That's good, right? You'd expect that behavior. So that's the first thing. Control your actions intentionally. And going with that, we could also put control your thoughts. Control your thoughts and actions intentionally. The second thing would be to, kind of going off of the control your thoughts, be present. Do not be so hypercritical of people. Don't judge people. Don't have always be in your own mind, thinking about other people, what other people are saying, what others are doing, what others think about you. Just be in the present moment. Learn to appreciate the people around you for who they are, despite their defects, despite what you don't like about them, right? Learn to appreciate the world around you, because soon you'll be dead and it'll all be gone. And you'll be regretting, you'll be wishing that you did look at the things that mattered. Third would be to see the essence of everything when you live your life. So instead of looking at the superficial traits, right? Because it's very easy to see something by its physical characteristics and say, oh no, I don't like that. But these things fool you. Your senses fool you. Your emotions fool you. Fear is often unfounded. Anger is often unfounded. Something smells bad, but it tastes good. A sound may hurt your ears 1 second, but then over time you get used to it and it doesn't even bother you anymore. Something may be unpleasant to look at, but same thing, over time you get used to it and you actually kind of enjoy seeing it. Could be a person, right? Could be a person that at first you don't like seeing, you get annoyed with, but over time you get used to their presence and you actually like when they're there. So don't listen to your senses so much. Don't trust these things because it comes from instinct, it comes from ego. These things are there to protect you from the world. But we're intelligent creatures, we're conscious. We don't need these instincts anymore. When you see people who are being arrogant, who are being mean, people who are caught up in their own thoughts, you talk to them and they're not present with you. When there's an insect that keeps like bothering you, keeps like flying around your head, whatever, instead of getting mad at these things, understand what they are at their core. A person is acting like this because of their experiences. A person, at the end of the day, is just another part of me. Like, we're literally the same shit. The only thing that separates us is our knowledge of, these principles. That's why I act like this and they're acting like that. But if we had the reverse experience, right? If they experienced my life and I experienced their life, we'd be acting like each other. I'd be acting like them and they'd be acting like me. So I cannot blame them for what they're doing. When an insect is buzzing around, it could, because you're there eating outside, first thought may be, oh damn, this fucking fly is so annoying. But look to the essence of that thing. Say, this fly is just doing what its instincts command it to. It's just participating in nature, doing its obligations. A fly's obligation, just like any other animal, is to eat and reproduce. How can you blame it for doing what it's supposed to do, what nature commands it to do? How many times have you been buzzing around someone else being annoying? So when you experience life, do not be so quick to trust your senses and emotions. Just look to the essence. Look to see the essence, the reality of things, objectively, how they really are. And you find that over time, dude, you develop this beautiful way of looking at the world where you see people with different physical characteristics, right? Different beliefs, you see different parts of the world all around you, and there's no judgment behind them. There's no hatred, there's no resentment. There's peace with everything. And this doesn't mean that you have to somebody's bullying you and you have to accept their disrespect because, everything is one. That's not what I'm saying. The point of stoicism is to not let anything else take away from your peace of mind. To always have that inner strength to triumph, to persevere, no matter what is happening around you, no matter what is being said to you. That is the point of stoicism. If someone disrespects you, you should not allow that. You should not allow, and it depends, That's also a very iffy subject that I want to dedicate a video to, because sometimes the disrespect you feel isn't even that big of a deal and you can just kind of move past it. Sometimes the disrespect is actually harmful and you need to stop it. The point is, stop trying to grip on to life so hard. Stop trying to control everything, which goes into our fourth point, right? Our fourth principle. Do not attempt to control the things that you cannot control. This is I should have put this at number 1, honestly, because it's the first principle that people like Ryan Holiday talk about. It's the biggest principle of stoicism. Control only yourself, only your actions, only your thoughts, only your own behavior, not the emotions of other people, not the weather, not the world around you. You can attempt to control these things, but it will never work. And trying to get a grip on everything so tightly, like dictators do, right? Where they try to have top-down control of everything. It brings fear, it brings paranoia, it brings stress, and it doesn't make life fulfilling. So that's going to be all for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know if you agree, if you disagree. Let me know how your Stoic journey has been going, if you've been practicing it already. Let me know if you have any questions about Stoicism, right? And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you.